Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Allie and I talk about manifestation and mindset, but mostly I share stories about my life and the current journey I'm on of rewriting, burning all the old BS down, rewriting it, and rising up through the ashes like a phoenix. I am so excited for today's topic. But before we get into that, I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. Yes, I am sick. I have a summer cold. My voice is a little deeper. I have a freaking fever right now, and I'm gonna probably keep sniffling throughout the video. I apologize. But the thing is that even when you're sick, sometimes you gotta show up. And so even though the last thing I wanna be doing is sitting here filming, I would much rather be curled up under a blanket on the couch watching a good movie on TV and, blowing my nose nonstop. But here we are. I decided that I needed to show up for you guys because if I don't, what is the point of all this? Which brings me back to today's topic. Excuse me. If you guys follow me on TikTok, this week we've been talking about altars. If you don't follow me on TikTok, that's fine. I will have my handle linked down below in the info box, so if you want to follow me you can, but seriously, no pressure, no big deal. But like I said, we've been talking about altars this week over on my TikTok. Excuse me. And it's been really interesting learning from you guys what kinds of things that you like to put on your altars, what kinds of things are important to you, because that's the thing about altars and about, your own spiritual practice in general. It's yours, it's unique. There is no guidebook, there is no rule book. Whatever feels right to you is right. There was some comments from people saying that they didn't have altars. And here's the thing. You do not have to have, like a whole desk or dresser or dedicated space where you put little trinkets and crystals and candles and whatever. Everything is about intention. What I mentioned before, those altars, those are great. I love those. I especially love to see pictures of other people's altars. It gets me inspired, it gets me excited for their spiritual journey. And it brings me happiness. But like I said, if you're just starting out on your journey, it's all about your intention. Maybe your altar is a shoebox that you fill with notes to the universe, notes to yourself, notes to the deities that you work with. Maybe it's pictures of happy moments in your life. Maybe it's pictures of loved ones who have passed. It doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be something that you spend money on. That's one of the things that has really been a big belief in my own practice. As you guys know, or maybe you don't, but if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I'm not one of those people that's, rolling in the dough. I have a day job that I've worked for almost 3 years now. It pays my bills, but that's about it. I don't do a lot of extra fun things. I don't, constantly go to Target and drop $300 or go to Michael's every single Halloween release. Sure, I'd love to do that. That's just not in the cards for me at this current moment in my life. That's not to say that everything could change tomorrow, or maybe 10 years from now, or maybe never. I'm just rolling with the punches here. So that brings me back to my original point, is that your altar is sacred to you, and it's whatever your intention is when you put it into it. So even just a journal. This is one of my journals that's completely filled up, and that could be your altar. Just taking pen and paper and creating a journalizing practice where you vent, you release all of the negative energy from the day into that, and allow the pen and paper to release that energy from you. Something like that kind of a practice is absolutely beautiful, and it's healing and just incredible. So like I said, you don't have to spend money. You don't have to go out and buy a cutesy little journal. Just grab a regular, you know, I don't even know how much they are right now. What is it, $1.50, something like that, $2 for just a regular lined notebook from like Walmart or whatever. It doesn't have to be expensive, and that is one of the big things. Sure, I would love, you know, 10-foot tall amethyst geodes at my front door and have all these amazing crystals and create my entire home as an altar and calming excuse me. Create this calming, loving space with every inch intentionally decorated with, you know, things to bring positivity and luck and abundance and all of that into my life. But like I said, that's just not in the budget right now. So I work with what I have. I use crystals that I already have, that I've gathered over the years from going to crystal shops and gem shows. I have personal photos that I like to use. And that's the other thing, is that you don't have to think that you have to have everything all at once to build your altar. It's something that you can, oh my God, sorry. It's something that you can build out over time. You know, just start placing things wherever. If it's, you know, even at your desk at work, if you work in an office, having a couple of crystals on your desk, or a post-it note with a positive affirmation, using a pen. It could be as simple as that, like a pen that you absolutely love and it brings you joy every time you write with it. Like I said, it's all about intention, and it doesn't have to be something that you have to rush out to a crystal shop and buy all the things and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars. One of my favorite things on one of my altars is this statue that I found for $1 at Goodwill. It was a white statue, and I looked at it, I was like, I really love the way it forms, the flow of it. It was, I think it was supposed to be like, not a wedding cake topper because it's way too heavy for that, but maybe like a wedding gift. It was this white statue, and it just flowed effortlessly between the man and the woman. And I was like, you know what? I absolutely love that, but I hate that color. So I bought it, like I said, for $1. And I took some satin black spray painted it, because I'm not a big fan of shiny, and I don't like matte, but I love the satin where it's more matte than shiny, but it's not doesn't get as dirty easily. It's not as flat looking. So I spray painted that, and it's now one of my favorite things that I have in my house. I feel like it's beautiful every time I look at it. It brings me joy. I love the fact that I got to DIY and I made it my own. So even little things like that, you want to focus on what's going to bring you joy, what's going to bring you happiness, especially if you have this altar sitting out in an area where you're going to see it every single day. Like I said, maybe not, like if you have to do the shoebox thing or something like that, or writing in your journal, you know, that's your journey and what you're doing. But if you do have it out in a space where, you know, you see it or even other people see it, you want to, every time you see it, for it to bring you joy, for you to have happiness from it, for you to continue putting that good energy into your altar. Because ultimately, that's what they're for. You're channeling your good energy into it to bring whatever it is that you're trying to bring into your life. For me, the statue that I had mentioned before is on my love and relationship altar. I will, if you guys want me to go more in depth and detail into that altar in another video, please let me know down in the comments. But it was an altar that I had created before I met my current boyfriend, and it's a wild story. So like I said, if you guys want to hear that story, please let me know. I can make a video dedicated to it. But the whole story between me and him and how we got together and all the synchronicities and coincidences, and it's wild, like I said. So please let me know in the comments if you want to hear that. I will make a future video about it. But altars are very powerful, especially with how much energy you channel into them, how much good energy you channel into them. And I'm actually in the process of creating another altar right now, because that's the only one that I currently have. And I'm creating a self-love altar, one that's focused fully on me and really going into detail about the things that I want in life, where I want to go in life, truly breaking down those barriers of where I'm feeling still negative about myself, and really focusing on getting into a better mindset, headspace, and surroundings in my life. That's really what I've been doing this entire year in 2025. I've really been, you know, buckling down and focusing on my own happiness, because I have spent so much time focusing on other people that I have let myself go to the wayside. And I'm just like, you know what, enough is enough. We don't know how much time we have on this planet in this current life. And so I need to be better about making the most of it. And sorry, one moment. Anyways, I need to be better about making the most of it and really experiencing all there is to experience in this life. And that means starting to put myself first, which is not something I'm used to, which is completely new for me, but I'm very excited about it. And I can't wait to see where this goes. Like I said, I'm going to continue documenting my journey on this channel for you guys, telling you about the wins, telling you about the losses, getting raw, getting real, filming videos when I'm sick, when I don't want to. Oh my God. Sorry. I think that's probably a sign that I should be wrapping this up. But like I said, if there's anything I mentioned in this video that you want me to film, or anything at all, if there's anything you guys want to hear from me, please let me know in the comments. I love all the ideas I've gotten from you guys, and I'm really excited to continue sharing with you. I would absolutely love it if you're watching this, if you could hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to turn on post notifications so you know every time I post. And yeah, feel free to leave comments below. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to hear other things from me. Let me know if you have any questions for me. Like, I would be happy to do a Q&A video in the future. I'm all for it. But with that being said, I am very excited to be chatting with you guys and be creating this community. And I will catch you in the next one. Talk to you later.